Hello, everyone. Today, we will thoroughly explore a timeless masterpiece by William Shakespeare, a work often called the greatest story ever written, one that has captivated people around the world for over 400 years. Hamlet. This is no mere revenge tragedy. It is the ultimate tragedy, a story of love and betrayal, madness and reason, and a work that questions the very nature of human existence with its famous line, "To be or not to be." The story begins in Elsinore Castle in Denmark. The king has died suddenly, and his brother, Claudius, has all too quickly married Queen Gertrude, Hamlet's own mother. The entire nation is shrouded in an atmosphere of unease and corruption. The protagonist, Prince Hamlet of Denmark, is plunged into a deep melancholy and despair by his father's death and his mother's hasty remarriage. Why does this story grip our hearts so fiercely and never let go? Let us now, together, follow the spiritual journey of the brooding, suffering, and philosophical Prince Hamlet. The ghost revelation and the vow of revenge. The story is set in motion one freezing midnight, when the soldiers on the castle ramparts witness a terrifying sight. It is the ghost of the former king, Hamlet's own father. After hearing the tale from his friend Horatio, Hamlet resolves to confront the ghost himself. And when the specter appears before him, it reveals a shocking truth. Its death was no natural passing. While sleeping, it was murdered by its own brother, Claudius, who poured poison into its ear. The ghost then commands Hamlet, "Avenge my foul and most unnatural murder. Do not let the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest." The unbelievable truth that his father was murdered by the uncle he trusted most, and that his mother had married the killer. In that moment, Hamlet's melancholy transforms into a burning desire for revenge. To achieve this vengeance, and to find proof of his uncle's guilt, he makes a solemn vow to feign madness. And from here, his lonely and dangerous battle begins. The feigned madness and the mousetrap. Having sworn his revenge, Hamlet begins to act mad. He utters nonsensical words, behaves erratically, and throws the royal court into confusion. He is especially cold and cruel to his beloved, Ophelia, wounding her pure heart with his harsh words. King Claudius and Queen Gertrude, unsettled by Hamlet's sudden madness, desperately try to find its cause, but no one can see through his performance. Amidst this, Hamlet devises a brilliant plan to confirm his revenge. He instructs a troupe of traveling actors, who have just arrived at the castle, to perform a play that reenacts the exact circumstances of his father's murder before the king. He calls this play The Mousetrap, for its purpose is to catch the conscience of the king. If the king shows agitation while watching the play, it will be undeniable proof that the ghost's words were true. Hamlet holds his breath and waits for that moment. This was his first direct confrontation with the king, a battle waged with words and theater. To be or not to be, the philosopher prince. However, Hamlet cannot bring himself to act immediately. He is not a simple avenger. He is a man who thinks too much. This torment is most condensed in the most famous soliloquy in all of theater. To be or not to be, that is the question. This line is not merely a wish for death. His soul is torn between the unbearable pain of living and the fear of the unknown, of what awaits after death. If death were merely a sleep, how easy it would be. But what dreams may come in that sleep? The thought of it paralyzes our will to act. He curses himself for how his resolution for revenge is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought. This soliloquy is not just Hamlet's personal struggle. It is a fundamental question posed to all of humanity. Why do we continue to live this painful life? Before the act of revenge, he was first wrestling with the very meaning of existence. The point of no return and the spiraling tragedy. The mousetrap play has a tremendous effect, just as Hamlet planned. During the poisoning scene, King Claudius's face turns pale, and unable to bear his guilt, he rises and leaves the room. The ghost's words were true. Hamlet finally has proof of his uncle's crime. But in his excitement, Hamlet makes an irreversible mistake. While confronting his mother in her chamber, he notices someone hiding behind a curtain, and believing it to be Claudius, he impulsively stabs them with his sword. However, the man behind the curtain was Polonius, the father of his beloved Ophelia. This single, mistaken thrust pulls the trigger on a chain reaction of tragedy. Ophelia, rejected by the Hamlet she loved, and now having lost her father at his hands, loses her sanity and drowns in a river while singing songs. And her brother, Laertes, having lost both his father and sister at once, returns from France with a burning desire for revenge against Hamlet. Hamlet's revenge has now given birth to a new revenge, and the story hurtles toward its bloody conclusion. The final bloody duel. King Claudius seizes this opportunity and conspires with Laertes to devise a cowardly plan to ensure Hamlet's death. It is a duel to the death, disguised as a friendly fencing match with Laertes. The tip of Laertes' sword is coated with a deadly poison, and just in case, a cup of wine intended for Hamlet to quench his thirst is also poisoned. The fateful duel begins. In the midst of the fierce swordplay, events take a turn for the worst, far beyond what the conspirators had planned. An unknowing Queen Gertrude mistakenly drinks from the poisoned cup and dies. The poisoned tip of the sword wounds both Laertes and Hamlet, sealing both their fates. Realizing he is dying, Laertes, in his final moments, confesses the entire plot to Hamlet. Knowing the full truth, Hamlet summons his last remaining strength, finally kills King Claudius with the poisoned sword, and achieves his father's revenge. Then, entrusting his story to his dear friend Horatio, he speaks his last words. The rest is silence, and dies. The silence and the eternal question. Just after Hamlet dies, Fortinbras, the Prince of Norway, arrives at the castle with his victorious army. The sight that greets him is a horrific tableau. The entire Danish royal family, king, queen, and prince, all lie dead. Was Hamlet's revenge truly accomplished? Was he a hero, or was he a flawed man who, by thinking too much, brought destruction upon everyone around him? Shakespeare gives no easy answer to this question. Hamlet is the record of a single human soul who, in an absurd and painful world, never stopped asking, how should one live? That is why his struggle, across 400 years of time, continues to strike a chord in our hearts today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.